Liberty, freedom, and independence. It was their vision, and they could see it so clearly it was like they could taste, feel, and smell it. The Patriot founders believed with every fiber of their being that America could be free. She could prosper apart from Britain, and not only prosper, but be great. Patriots like Samuel Adams and John Adams, they led the way. From the Stamp Act Congress to the Boston Tea Party, they let it be known that Parliament would not coerce them into servitude for Britain. September 17th begins our commemoration of Constitution Week. However, September 5th, 2024 marks the 250th anniversary of the First Constitutional Congress, the inaugural meeting of delegates from 12 of the 13 original colonies. These men, who left home and family for months to meet together in Philadelphia, would eventually unify around a letter of grievances to the overreaching British Parliament. Meeting from the first week of September to October 26, 1774 in Carpenter Hall, delegates debated and at times outright argued over what should be the colony's response to the intolerable acts. Parliament, seething from the colonists' refusal of tea at the Boston harbor, thought that they could teach the colonists a lesson by punishment and force. You see, after dumping of Britain's tea, Parliament had issued the Boston Port Bill, closing the harbor to imports, and the Quartering Act, allowing British soldiers to take over properties and replacing the royal governor with a military force in General Thomas Gage. Instead of crippling Massachusetts like they thought that punishment would, Britain found that it had only served to unite the colonies and give motivation to their freedom cause. Southern colonies started sending up all sorts of supplies for the Bostonians, and everyone began to come together against the unfair tactics of the British. At one point, the British General Gage offered some pardons to those involved in the tea dumping, but Samuel Adams and John Hancock remained wanted men. Moderate voices like John Dickinson spoke passionately against unfair taxes, but then he tended to shrink away from any talk of permanent separation from the mother country. He really didn't believe in his heart that America could survive without the money of Britain, and his Quaker roots kept him from wanting to use any kind of threats that might bring on a war with England. Patriot brother cousins Samuel and John Adams lobbied for complete liberty from Britain. Samuel led the way with the Sons of Liberty and kept people informed of British tactics through the Committee of Correspondence. In a matter of compromise, the delegates chose to write a letter to King George, sharing their love for country and king, but disdain for Parliament's overreach. After 7 weeks, relying on hope and their loyalty to the king, Congress unanimously signed the Declaration and Resolves to King George III, stating their grievances and promising to boycott British imports and end American exports in the following year if Parliament did not repeal the intolerable acts. Their faith was dashed when Ben Franklin reported that George refused to even read the letter. Congress would reconvene in a few short months. Dickinson would recuse himself, and 56 others would sign the Declaration of Independence, sealing the path to liberty for America. Samuel Adams once said, "The country shall be independent, and we will be satisfied with nothing short of it."